What's up, everyone? Like always, like and subscribe. Leave a comment down below. Just a real quick intro. We have the 5K tournament for Primal, and the 5K means they were playing for $5,000. Happened a couple of weeks ago. We didn't get to go. The wife was sick. She's pregnant, so it's unfortunate. But we do have the deck profile that was first and second place. They were exact same decks, same exact same decks. So we have Corey, who is gracious enough to record a deck profile and send it our way. So we're just gonna let this one. We're gonna let him do his thing, and that'll be it for me. So, like I said, like, subscribe, leave a comment down below. Primal's still awesome. We're still trying to support the game as well as we can, and that's that. Later.
Hey everyone, this is Corey with Team 3 Aces bringing you your Houston 5K first and second place deck profiles. These are card for card the exact same except for 3 cards in the sideboard. This really should be Dan doing the video, but I think he's a little more camera shy than I am. And other than my mat not saying winner, I think I'm more than qualified to speak about it. So let me get into it. Our field card is Dragonic Palace. This card's crazy. I don't want to say it's the best field because I think Necropolis is still the best field in terms of what it does for its specific archetype. But now that there's Zala Enraged and Dynamo Richie, we have 2 ways to play a transform on 0. And obviously Richie can play either of those with his ability. So this card has 1 more turn to activate on, which means we go 2 cards deeper. And in this deck, spoiler warning, a card in our essence is more or less a card in hand because we're just going to blast you crazy for Draconian Showers at some point in the game. So this is the only 2 of in the deck. Everything else you're going to see is a 3 of. Keep it nice and easy. That's not entirely true for the sideboard, but you know, we'll get into that. So let me start with characters. I like to start there. We're on 3 Kamiko. You always want to have cards that generate hand advantage, card advantage. Kamiko does that pretty well, and she specifically grabs strategies, which then go on to generate more cards. And she can be transformed over on turn 1 with Halil, which is another way to trigger this, specifically on 1. And when you do that, you're going to get another one of her triggers, which is really sweet. Get another strat, possibly. Richie, I don't really... Oh, like I said, everything's a 3 of. Richie, I don't think I need to explain him. He's just, like, the best plasma 0-drop. That's not true. Zala's really good, too. I don't know who I would say is better between the 2 of them, but I love them both. Zala's especially good now that Zala Enraged is out. Dynamo Richie came out quite a while ago, frankly. But they're both very important. And now the key characters of the deck are both 1-drops that you can play on 0. So you know a deck's pretty good when the key characters are 1-drops that you can play on 0. That's generally a really good sign. This guy doesn't seem that imposing when you first read him. He's not that intimidating, but he's going to chip away at your deck very consistently. And this deck draws a lot. It has a lot of ways of searching. It is super easy to get Dynamo Richie to your hand. The same is exactly true of Zala, except she's not going to mill. She's just here to protect when you go in for the kill with Showers. That's it. That's all she's there to do. That's it. Nothing special. We're almost done with characters. Just 3 Halil, like I mentioned before. He's just there to double trigger Kamiko, and if, you generally don't want to hard play one of these on 1, but you might have to. Or you have him to trigger this on 1, you could hard cast him on 2. Ryu's just absolutely busted. Best dragon, like, if you're not on mill, probably best dragon in mill still. And then this guy, you should play this card. Strategies, collateral damage. Little Devil be damned. Here's the secret news, boys. Cards that search prior to the turn you play Ryu are good with Little Devil because they bait Little Devil. Cards like Scouting Ahead that you play on a turn the same time as Ryu or after Ryu are bad. Dragonic Tesseract. This card is doo-doo, and we are begging for any other card to replace it. It is the most cuttable card, and it is the card that gets sided out almost 100% of the time. Promise. This card is the opposite of Tesseract. It's the best 2-drop strat in the game. And hey, look, it's the best 3-drop strat in the game. This card's really cool. You should go watch the final match on the Primal TCG channel after this video, and tell me how you think I feel about it at the moment. I love it. And then we're on to abilities. Little Devil. You are a fool not to be on Raikiri Little Devil. Hand traps are crazy, and you should play the 2 best ones of them. Symbiosis. This card protects us if Zala can not get the job done. No, I'm kidding. This is a defensive card for cards like this, or the Mirror Match. It's a very good card. I like Ability Negate. Alright. Oh, not that yet. Dragon Breath. This card's a little controversial because we only really have Halil and Ryu, although technically you could get to Raikiri later on, but that's whatever. That's probably not happening. So 9 times out of 10 it's Ryu using it, which means you want to target a 2-drop or lower, but the benefit of that is Ryu comes out on turn 2 when you transform him. And you know what? I'm thinking of it, but I didn't mention it before, so let me just pull this out real quick. A little cute interaction, which I don't know if everybody is aware of, probably most people. It doesn't specifically have to do with Dragon Breath, I'm just thinking of the Ryu line now. Okay. On 0, Zala. Probably don't want a Zala on 0. She's like the worst possible one, frankly. But let's say you got her out. TF her into Enraged. Awesome, cool. Now you got that Zala attached. You got that ability. Good deal. Now you're on turn 2. You skipped a little bit. We time walked. Ryu, right? The way this works, Zala's going to fall off before the Ryu trigger even goes on the stack, meaning that Zala will be a legal target. And so you have the Enraged effect because, you know, she has her own effect. And you have the Zala because it's a character in play. And you don't lose anything in this play. Now, generally speaking, Ryu's going to want to pull back Dynamo Richie. But a lot of the time you already have him in play. And you have to remember, everything with transformation has unique. So, can't be spamming them too hard here. Okay. Finishing the conversation about Dragon Breath. Right. Ryu is realistically the only good user of this. Halil's okay. I mean, the first match of the finals that I mentioned you should go watch after this video before, you'll see this card look really good, and then no, I'm not going to say anything. But there's a card, I think it's Raikiri's Chain Lightning or Richie's Chain Lightning, I don't know, and it admittedly could replace this card because it's got a bit, well, it's got a bit more users, I guess, yeah. Because I think it's an expert for the bonus. So I think it's, what is it, like dragging is the requirement. So it has more users. And ultimately, it's basically an OV machine. Especially if like Richie or Raikiri uses it. Which is kind of the point of this. However, my counterpoint is this is a removal card. Removals work like negates. That's pretty cool. That's something that Chain Lightning doesn't necessarily do because I don't think it's 2 damage, it's 1, right? This is, well, I guess it's a, okay, but this is easier 2 than that is, I don't know. This makes sense in my head. Dragon Breath, we prefer it, but, you know, you play Chain Lightning. Anyway, Transformative Clash. This card requires too much time to explain, just play it. And then, hey, we're back to the single 2 of. This card is really good with Enraged. You win the game. Okay. My side. This is going to take a little more time to explain. I don't think I'm going to start with the Syndos. Well, okay, I guess I have to now that you've seen them, and I gotta pull out the Slayer's Guild too. So, Primal has this thing about games running really long, and typically, if you're gonna be pretty close to time in game two, um, and you won game. Okay, here we go. Here's the strat, right? You win game one, and then you side after game two. Now you're up a game, right? And let's say the timer's going long or something. You got the advantage of the strategic concede, which is you're up a game, so they have to play out game two as long as they can, right? But you don't give a shit. So you can burn that timer. I know this sounds deceptive. This didn't happen either. All my games were two, except for one, but that ended in like 30 minutes anyhow. This card, these were never relevant. But what you do is you concede at the right time, and then you side into this shit into game three, and then this shit is cracked in game three. You should do stuff like Brock in Water with the same mindset, Matilda and Plagueis with the same mindset. Like, games run long in Primal, and I'm sick of people complaining about, oh, an hour's too short. You know the game runs an hour. Build your freaking deck to it. Alright, there's my advice. Now here's the only different card. Dan was on Hanger 13, fearing Promote, because Wrath of the King is a stupid card, and I really regret even mentioning it right now. I was obviously fearing Mill. Now, unfortunately, go watch the game. This was irrelevant because I got so dogged on. Game one, I just lost, got milled out, and that's obviously not in the deck, game one. And then game two, oof, I spoiled everything. But you're probably not watching still. Spy. Spy is a really fun card. So, what was our biggest concern with Spy? I'm having a blank on it at the moment. I'll tell you one fun interaction is locating the target, and this specifically came up in my top 4 match with SC. He was on Pirates, right? Which is really cool that Pirates got top 4. I love that. But I think it was game 2. I was up a game, and he had one card in hand after he paid a hand cost for a locating the target, and then or he might have had 0 cards in hand or something. I don't really remember, but it was 1 or 0, right? My turn came around. I already had the Spy in hand. Spy returns the permanent strategy to the top of its owner's deck, then I draw one. So bouncing and locating the target when you have like nothing in your hand, it's disgusting. And I just think Spy in general, putting a card back on top, it's kind of like Yada in a way. Just to say, this card's better than it seems. And it might be the best of its cycle. Okay, Necrosphere. I think Saul mentions it in the final video. You should still respect Plagueis, and I think with us main decking 3 Little Level, 3 Raikiri, 3 Necrosphere, in the Plagueis matchup, you only ever have to worry about Iron Scraps and Zoladar. You let them resolve every single other trigger. Who gives a shit? All their other triggers, mill cards. That's awesome. I love that. That's not entirely true. You can also counter Necropolis triggers. You just gotta be smart when you do your stuff, and you have to be principled. Like, let them resolve Nightshade, let them resolve Apollos. You just have to. Only Zoladar, that's it. Only Iron Scraps, that's it. And an occasional Necropolis. You even let Necropolis go. The only times that I'll like throw out this card naked are if there's like a double Drafiki in the grave, or they've milled 2 Zoladar, or I guess a main phase, they have an Iron Scraps and then the Drafiki, or just, well, yeah, that would be countering Iron Scraps. That's redundant. Last card, 2 Naval Warfare. This is the card that both of us sided into game 2, and obviously I sided into my graveyards. Naval Warfare could be main deck, but the reason we're not main decking it is we came down to the decision that it was just there for Golden Lady, and we're not necessarily here to control our opponent. We are here to mill our opponent. We only counter critical triggers. You can get away with some stuff. Raikiri, their Dragonic Palaces.